I'm the top actor in the entertainment industry. On my daughter's 7th birthday, my wife bought a time machine for 1 billion. She said she regretted it and wanted to go back 8 years to save Bai Yu Guang from the flood instead of me, her husband. So, on this special day, I watched my daughter, who I had spoiled for 7 years, disappear in time, and she set off fireworks all over the city to celebrate Bai Yu Guang's resurrection. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn 8 years ago. When the flood came, this time I kicked Liu, R-U-Y, and into the water with 1 foot and watched them swim in the flood together quietly, performing an extremely affectionate Titan. Ruin, ruin? I sat up suddenly as if I had just woken up from a dream. Everything around me was so familiar. I was reborn and returned to the night before the flood broke out 8 years ago. On my daughter Ruin's 7th birthday, my wife Liu, R-U-Y-N, who I have been with for 8 years, exchanged her for a time machine worth 1 billion. She said, Jibota, I am willing to spend all my money to buy a time machine. As long as I can go back to the past, I will bring Ito Makoto back. He is the love of my life. Then Ruin disappeared from my sight. No matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find her. Even no one else in the world remembered her. They only remembered that Liu Yuan, the president of the listed company, doted on her husband and spent a lot of money to set off fireworks all over the city just to get the top student economic to smile. There were fireworks all over the sky for 7 days and 7 nights. I can't find my daughter, and I can't take revenge. I can only die with hatred under the gorgeous fireworks. Now, I go back to the eve of the flood, and the assistant complains with some dissatisfaction. Brother G, you fainted? And General Manager Liu is still in Ito Makoto's tent and doesn't come to see you. I shook my head, and my heart was filled with strong excitement. That's great, Liu Ruyn. Don't think you can have an easy time this time. It was pouring rain outside, and I immediately grabbed my assistant's hand. Now, notify all the villagers to evacuate to higher places immediately. A flood is about to break out. After one night, this place will be submerged. The outbreak of this flood 8 years ago caused the death of thousands of people. Now that I have been reborn, I will try my best to reduce the loss of those lives. When the assistant was about to leave, I hurriedly called him. Wait, don't disturb Liu Ruyn and Ito Makoto. Let everyone move to the boat first. Liu Ruyn, in her previous life, she regretted saving me, her newlywed husband, in this flood, so she auctioned the time machine for 1 billion yuan, ignored Ruin's life and death, and went back to 8 years ago to race-elect the rescued target. This time I want to see how she can escape. This is the first year that Liu Ruyn married me, and it is also the year when I am most popular. I was filming in a remote area, and Liu Ruyn, under the banner of visiting me, was secretly flirting with the supporting actor Ito Makoto. When I rushed to notify everyone to evacuate, I passed by Ito Makoto's tent and happened to hear Liu Ruyn's bright laugh. When she was with me, she was always cold and heartless. Every time Ruin tried to please Liu Ruyn, she was ruthlessly rejected by her. She was so well behaved, and every time she would say it's Ruin's fault, she made my mother angry. But such a sensible child was finally wiped out from the world by Liu Ruyn, and no one remembered her. She regretted not saving Ito Makoto and using the time machine to go back to the past to change the ending, which led to the death of my daughter Ruin. How can I not hate and blame her? Even the bystanders couldn't stand it. The director hesitated and looked at me with sympathy. I suppressed the hatred in my heart and forced a smile. It's normal for young people to love to play. I have more important things to do. Silly are you? Ryan couldn't laugh anymore. I said to the director, Director, if you trust me now, take people on the boat quickly. I have worked with Director Jim many times, and of course he trusts me. He listened to me and quietly lead people to move. The rain was loud, and it fell on the tent. Ruin and Ito Makoto were watching Titanic together in the tent. They were laughing and playing, and it was normal that they couldn't hear the movement outside. Now I won't make a fool of myself to quit the circle for love. I want to protect everything I have and keep the glory of today. After a busy night, most of the villagers were transferred to the boat. This boat is a prop used in the filming process. Fortunately, the director has money and rented a real boat, otherwise everyone here will suffer. It was slightly bright, and I looked at Ito Makoto's tent again before leaving. I didn't go out all night. I am looking forward to seeing the deserted and flooded scene when they come out. The assistant reminded me appropriately, Brother G, Miss Liu seems to be still in Ito Makoto's tent. Should we go and call them? The water level has already exceeded the waist, and it collapsed completely after the flood. I glanced at my assistant and said, "You go first, I'll go call them." The assistant didn't dare to stay because his life was at stake. Under the pretext of calling them, I personally lifted a corner of their tent. Even if the tent was set up in a high place, as long as a corner was lifted, the flood would overturn the tent. Liu Ruyuan, Baito Makoto thanked me. The good opportunity for you to share hardships is hard one. When I got to the boat, the seats were already full. Come quickly, the last seat is yours. Yes, the last seat should have been mine. In my previous life, if I hadn't stayed and waited for you, Ruyuan first, how could she have saved me on the boat? Looking at Liu Ruyuan and Ito Makoto, who were rushing in from a distance, from far to near at the critical moment of life and death, it was a pity that there was no place for them on the entire boat. A violent storm swept down, and floods broke out in remote areas, mixed with a mixture of mud, water, and garbage. Liu Ruyuan and Ito Makoto floated in the water, and they hugged each other. Chibata pulled us up. I looked down at Liu Ruyuan's beautiful, delicate, but miserable face. She has always been noble and proud, but now she seems to have fallen into the mortal world, pitiful but not worthy of sympathy. I trembled and restrained my anger and said calmly, "But there's no place here. How do you want me to save you?" Watching the two of them floating in the water like waterweed, trembling and hugging each other. Ruyuan, it's so cold. Alcatraz said, "Don't worry, Jiboda will definitely save us up." Everyone was looking at my wife, and the dignified President Liu was hugging Ito Makoto and kissing him gently. Everyone was anxious like an ant on a hot pot. Finally, someone found the last life buoy. Brother G, there is a life buoy here. You can pull President Liu up. Yes, it was this life buoy that made Liu Ruyuan make a difficult decision, a regret for the rest of her life. Now I still have to let her choose one of the two. I threw the life buoy to Liu Ruyuan, then forced the arc of my mouth to suppress it, and said with regret, "It's a pity that only one can be saved." Everyone on the boat was shouting, "Mr. Lees used the life buoy quickly. This flood is life-threatening. This is not enough." In order to prepare for the upcoming divorce in Widwood, I signaled my assistant to take out his mobile phone, open the live broadcast room, and title it Real Titanic, and spend another 100,000 to by popularity. In an instant, the live broadcast room was on the hot search. At this time, Ito Makoto's eyes suddenly turned red. His eyes were full of tears, and the tears fell silently. Ruyuan, I love you, but our future has not yet begun. I can't live in a world without you. I would rather die with you than live alone. His words made Liu Ruyuan's face change suddenly, and the whole network exploded. And Liu Ruyuan below, who had not yet realized the existence of the live broadcast room, really began to hesitate. The assistant immediately said, "Oh, Mr. Liu, the whole network knows that Ito Makoto is your campus white moonlight. Can you really bear to let him be washed away by the flood? Netizens are watching you in the live broadcast room. How can you not save him? You must think clearly and don't do anything you will regret." The water rose higher and higher, and the loud sound of waves hitting the shore came to my ears. "Pure love, God of war, Ruyuan, since you like to make choices and morally blackmail me so much, now when only one of you and Ito Makoto can survive, I want to see what choice you will make." The number of people in the live broadcast room soared, and the whole network was watching the scene of Liu Ruyuan, the listed president, and Ito Makoto, the cold and handsome boy, both in trouble. Liu Ruyuan's face suddenly changed, and her eyes were angry. "Who asked you to record the video? Are you looking for death?" Because the live broadcast camera was facing Liu Yuan's face, he mistakenly thought that the assistant was just recording the video, and he was afraid that he didn't know that it was a live broadcast. Things gradually became interesting. This time, I had to let Liu Yuan survive in the water, expose his hypocritical face, and cause the whole network to explode. The cold water soaked Tita Makoto's body. His face was as pale as paper and he was trembling all over. I curled the corners of my lips slightly. Liu Yuan, it feels bad to be betrayed by Yu Guang, right? As I expected, he couldn't make a choice in a short time. The number of people in the live broadcast room has exceeded 1 million. The whole network is waiting to watch Liu Yuan survive. This is even more exciting than the survival show. Under the expectation of everyone, a ruthless and cold voice sounded, and everyone on the boat heard it. As long as someone dares to jump down and give up the position, a reward of 1 million will be offered. Liu Yuan is a businessman, calm and mean to the extreme. He seems to be analyzing whose life to buy at the negotiating table. 1 million is enough to make these ordinary people shine. This is an astronomical figure for them. My expression was cold. It's not good. Liu Yuan wants to buy life with her life. He glanced at everyone with his arrogant eyes. Even in this flood, he still had the deterrent power of a superior and the sense of superiority he had cultivated since childhood. 1 million is enough for you to spend your whole life, and it is more than enough to buy your lives. Netizens were shocked, and the eyes of the people on the boat were bright, but it caused public outrage. Netizens in the live broadcast room were all scolding Liu Yuan as a capitalist. Liu Yuan did not take the lives of the people on the boat seriously at all. 1 million for a life, it's not worth it even if the body parts are disassembled and sold. I hate the faces of capitalists. They are arrogant like my boss. Most of the villagers on the boat were ready to move, and some villagers who were better at swimming had even taken off their coats and planned to jump into exchange for money. Glanced at the assistant, who immediately stopped them. Wait, aren't your lives lives? I'm afraid you have a life to make money, but no life to spend it. What's more, there is no evidence. Can you believe his words? You haven't even given him 1 million, and you are eager to die for him. There will be no evidence when you die. At this time, a flash of lightning struck the sky, and there was a rumbling sound. Everyone was speechless, and the joy on Liu Yuan's face faded instantly. In a hurry, he raised the amount of money again, 5 million. 5 million for 2 seats, as long as someone is willing to jump down. 5 million will be credited immediately. At this moment, Liu Yuan could no longer hold back his expression, and a trace of panic appeared on his usually calm face. Despite this, he always hugged Ito Makoto's waist tightly, and his deep affection was visible. It was a pity that no one believed his words anymore. Many villagers were shallow-minded. 1 million was already an astronomical figure for them, and 5 million was even more unthinkable. The bigger the gimmick, the less people will believe it. The crew members fully understand Liu Yuan's character. At the critical moment of life and death, who really dares to go down and fight? So everyone touched their noses, scratched their heads, and sat down honestly. Mr. Liu, you'd better not waste your energy. Money is more important than life, that's right. The waves are so big now. Who dares to go down? Liu Yuan's face became paler and paler, and his expression was extremely gloomy. However, at this critical moment, the life buoy in his hand was suddenly snatched away. Ito Makoto didn't snatched his life buoy and put it on himself. Chang, Liu Yuan's pupils shrank, and a hint of surprise appeared on her old face, which gradually became painful. She asked Ito Makoto in a hoarse voice, "Why did you do this?" "Nonsense, of course it's to stay alive." I suppressed the arc of the corners of my mouth, and I felt secretly, it must be very uncomfortable to be betrayed by Yu Guang, right? Are you Yan? I'm sorry, I want to live. I love you, but I love myself more. Hearing Ito Makoto say this, Liu Yuan was at a loss instantly. He didn't want to die, so he threatened the staff and used his identity as one of the investors to put pressure again, but it was useless. Workers also cherish their lives. Okay, Liu Ruyan, who was completely forced into a corner, looked at me with dangerous eyes. Chiboda, you must not want to watch me die, right? You will save me, right? I shrugged, with regret on my face, but I can't save you either. Liu Ruyan resisted the trembling teeth and stared at me with his bright eyes. You have a way to save me. His affirmative tone was chilling. My heart sank, staring at him coldly, and I heard him say with my own ears, You come down, let me go up. Liu Ruyan's matter-of-fact tone was chilling. He wouldn't really think that I like him so much that I can die for him, right? I haven't avenged the hatred in my previous life. Liu Ruyan, I gave you face, right? Who gave you the face that made you confidently think that I would go down? Liu Ruyan's face suddenly changed. He stared at me in astonishment and said expressionlessly, If I hadn't come to visit you, the accident would have been related to you. If something happened to me, you can't get away from it. I used to have a beautiful filter for Liu Ruyan. He was my childhood sweetheart, a friend, relative, and lover who had been with me since childhood. But when these filters faded, Liu Ruyan was Liu Ruyan, a person without any halo. Did I ask you to visit Mikoto Ito's tent? Everyone knows that you often stay out all night and chat about life with Makoto Ito. I ruthlessly exposed him. You should blame yourself, not me. I've given you the life buoy, but you are incapable of keeping it. What can I do? Your deep affection. You should go underground and tell the king of hell. The netizens in the live broadcast room were all stunned. Seeing the barrage scrolling wildly, I felt happy and comfortable all over. After asking me to no avail, Ruyan shifted her target to Mikoto Ito. There was only one life buoy, and only one of them could survive. The flood was surging, and the people on the boat refused to come down. There was only one life buoy. Ruyan looked at Ito Makoto with a complicated look, and he clenched his fist unwillingly. Ruyan. Ito Makoto's eyes were filled with tears and panic, and he said helplessly, Ruyan. The little assistant couldn't help but lie down in my arm and said to me, Brother G, Ito Makoto is not like this at all. Mr. Liu will never be able to play with him. I curled the corners of my lips. Who doesn't know the gossip in the circle? Ito Makoto is famous for his love of playing. He has money, beauty, and figure. As long as he is one of them, he is willing to be with them. He wanders among women, and he has everything in his hands. Liu Ruyan is one of them, but maybe it's because the filter of Bai Yuguang is strong, so he resolutely wanders away by himself. Looking at his back as he goes away, I squinted my eyes. Liu Ruyan, you better not die this time. In this flood, most people's lives were saved. After the flood receded, all personnel searched for Liu Ruyan's whereabouts and wanted to see her dead or alive. After a whole day of searching, Liu Ruyan was finally found. He seemed to be able to swim, so he was still alive. After the hospital's rescue, Liu Ruyan stayed in the ICU for 3 days and 3 nights, but I never went to see Liu Ruyan concentrating on filming. It was not until I heard that Liu Ruyan was lucky enough to survive that I remembered that I had to hurry up and divorce him. Arriving at the door of the ward, I heard Ito Makoto crying, Ruyan, you finally woke up. You don't know how worried I am about you. I have been scared these days. I didn't mean to take the life buoy. Ruyan, you will forgive me, right? I looked over and saw a deep affection on you. Ruyan's sick face. He held Ito Makoto's hands and comforted him softly. Cheng, I never blamed you. Ruyan, you don't know how much Chiboda went too far. He actually started a live broadcast that day. You and I were scolded by ignorant keyboard warriors. Liu Ruyan sat up in shock from his dying illness, his face as white as paper, and said in a hoarse voice, What? He rubbed his forehead, his eyes full of shock. Chiboda dared to broadcast live? Is he crazy? Doesn't he know how much impact this will have on the company? I am dying of laugh. Doesn't Liu Ruyan know that her company's stock has plummeted? I pushed the door open and glanced at the tired, sickly woman. I'm not crazy. The company's public relations department should be crazy. After all, Mr. Liu's personal image can't be saved this time. During this period, Liu Ruyan's use of money to buy her life has been on the hot search for a long time. There was a coldness in his eyes. Jiboda, what good will this do for you? You deliberately watched me and Tomaka drift in the flood, right? At this time, Liu Yan's mother suddenly pushed the door open. Are you Yan? How can you look at Jiboda like this? Don't you think all this is your problem? Then dismiss. Liu Yan, you should quickly break up with him and apologize to Jiboda. Liu's mother quickly gave him a look indicating that he should surrender to me first. Don't think I don't know that in the previous life, Liu's mother and Liu are Yan like to play this in front of me in Ruin. One playing the red face and the other playing the white face, which eroded my family's wealth. However, Liu Yan insisted on holding Ito Makoto's hand, and her calm tone was firm and powerful. Mom, I want to give her a home. This sentence hit my heart heavily. I was not dissatisfied, but I felt endless sadness for Ruin. In her previous life, Ruin tried her best to please the Yu family, but they never looked at her because she was a daughter. Why, and never thought about giving Ruin a harmonious and beautiful family and establishing the image of a good mother. I took out the divorce agreement from my bag and put it in front of her. That's great, let's divorce. Liu's mother was immediately furious and trembling. Liu Yan, I think you are crazy. Has your brain been damaged by the flood? You want to give her a home. Then what about Jiboda? His eyes rolled and then he said to me, Boda, don't worry, Mom will make the decision for you. This time you don't save her, Mom doesn't blame you, but there is no need for divorce, right? Liu Yan's eyes flashed with surprise, and she looked at the divorce agreement for a full half second before she made a move. Okay, I agree to divorce. Liu's mother couldn't help but roar. Y and I were a business marriage, and we have been married for less than a year. At the beginning, my father saw that I really liked Anne and was willing to help the Yu family overcome difficulties. Finally, the Yu family's precarious company resumed normal operation. But once we divorce, my family will withdraw shares and funds. By then, it is unknown what will happen to Liu Yan's company. Despite Liu's mother's scolding, Liu Yan still signed the divorce agreement expressionlessly. Before leaving, I heard categorically, what if the company leaves the Ji family? Makoto Ito is the man I really want to marry, and I am willing to give up everything for him. After the successful divorce, I focused more on filming. The filming of this movie is nearing its end. The Queen Julian came to guest star in the movie. She often flirted with Makoto Ito during the filming. Everyone in the crew knew that they had an unusual relationship. Some people even ran into Makoto Ito and Julian hugging and kissing. I pretended not to see it. No matter how bright my ex-wife's green hat is, what does it have to do with me? The only one who was kept in the dark was the pure love god Liu Yan. In my previous life, I also found out after I got married that Ito Makoto was her love interest in college, so I never understood why she didn't tell me when she fell in love with Ito Makoto at first sight, and why she got married to me right after graduation. This day I was taking a break on the set, and I saw Liu Yan getting out of the car. She walked towards me, her lips slightly curled up like a spring breeze, revealing her good mood at the moment. Today is the time for the film to be finished. What does Liu Yan want to do at this time? Then she walked up to me and said, I'm going to propose to Ah Ching. I'm pregnant with his biological son, and he's going to be born in a few months. I must give him a name and can't let my son become an illegitimate child. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. The whole crew is here today, and I wish her a happy wedding. Ito Makoto is pure, innocent, gentle, and handsome, and a good boy. His cold eyebrows softened instantly. Then when he mentioned Ito Makoto, his handsome face was full of tenderness. Then he looked at me, his expression suddenly changed. Jiboda, you have to change your temper, otherwise no one will marry you. The arc of my mouth froze, and I stared at Liu Yan expressionlessly. Why do I have to marry a wife? Isn't it their honor that they can be close to me? I raised my eyebrows and said, also, you don't really think that you are pregnant with his child, do you? Hearing this, Liu Yan's face changed, and her expression instantly turned cold. Jiboda, watch your words. Of course, I am pregnant with his child. Since he is so determined, I will prepare popcorn and stuff. Yuan strode away with displeasure in her eyes. He deliberately concealed that Makoto Ito had never appeared since he came to the crew and got on the RV. The assistant gave me the video as if he had discovered a shocking secret. Brother G, I accidentally ran into. He lay in my ear and whispered a few words. I raised my eyebrows and smiled at the assistant. The final scene was not finished until late at night. In order to celebrate the final scene, the director bought a lot of fireworks to celebrate. Under the sky full of fireworks, Liu Yuan walked slowly, and he walked towards Makoto. Every step was firm. He knelt on one knee under the gorgeous fireworks, took out a ring worth millions and proposed, Ching, I didn't know how to please you before and always made you angry. Now I have learned to love. I want to give you a home for the children. Everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. They knew the relationship between Ito Makoto and Zhu Yan, and it was difficult to knock on this complicated love triangle. Makoto was at a loss, and Zhu Yan was more like a bystander watching the fun. Yuan's words were very firm. Cheng, are you willing to marry me? Ito Makoto remained silent, and his eyes drifted on Zhu Yan from time to time. In this long silence, Yuan's expression gradually became anxious. In the tense atmosphere, the screen behind him suddenly lit up, and the dazzling light attracted the attention of everyone in the audience. The video on the screen played, and Zhu Yan's voice came. Ito Makoto, I'm pregnant with your child. You will love me, right? The whole audience was shocked, and Yuan's eyes full of joy suddenly turned cold. He turned around suddenly and saw Ito Makoto and Zhu Yan hugging each other on the screen. At that moment, his expression could no longer be stable, unbelievable, and collapsed. In the video, Zhu Yan leaned on Ito Makoto's arms, and this loving look was like an invisible slap, slapping Yuan's face hard. The more cruel thing is still to come. Zhu Yan sneered and asked, whose child is in Yuan's belly? Of course it's not mine. The child is already 3 months old. How could it be mine? 3 months ago I was filming with you all the time. Zhu Yan looked up and asked her, then how did she get pregnant? It's just that a big guy in the circle wanted to play with her, but he had no way. It happened that I needed the big guy's help to get our first movie, so I took advantage of it. I almost laughed out loud. Sure enough, only Yuan was hurt. The world was achieved. Yuan's eyes were scarlet, and there was a trace of grief in her eyes. How could my child not be yours? Koto, so you have been lying to me from beginning to end. How could this child not be yours? Makoto's eyes were red, and he sneered. Zhu Yan, I really love you. I just play with them. Besides, am I the only one who cheated on Miss Liu during her marriage? Guess whose seed is in your belly? Ito Makoto is now trying his best to coax Zhu Yan, but the socialite Zhu Yan has an indifferent attitude. Yuan's failed proposal and the green grassland on her head were exposed by someone. He cheated on her during marriage. After finally getting a divorce, he was cuckolded by the other party. She didn't even know whose child she was pregnant with. Now the whole network is discussing Yuan's affairs. His personal negative news directly affects the image of the company. With such a strong online public opinion, the company's stock fell across the board, and Yuan was ridiculed by the whole network. He doesn't want Jibota's top man, but falls in love with Ito Makoto as Sea King. The end of a scumbag is like this blind president. What good products can his company make? Their product quality was once exposed once, and it was not saved by Jibota's endorsement. Public opinion is fermenting. Once the storm is set off, it is difficult to restore calm. In just 1 month, Yuan's company suffered an unprecedented blow. This time, I want to see how long Yuan can last without the Ji family and me. A month later, I came home from shooting outside and met Yuan standing at the door. He looked at me, his voice trembling slightly. Bota, can you help me now? Yuan obviously didn't rest well, and her expression showed some fatigue. I looked at him expressionlessly and asked coldly, what can I help you with? The company's shares are now plummeting. It won't be long before it will face a more serious situation. Boda, you are the only one who can help me now. I smiled slightly unsaid sarcastically. Boss Liu, you can find Ito Makoto. He will definitely be happy to help you. When you are desperate, you think of me. When you have money, fame, and fortune, you wish you could give your whole heart to Ito Makoto. When mentioning Ito Makoto, Yui's face changed instantly. He pursed his lips, suppressed his impatience, and said calmly, Jiboda, you know that Ito Makoto can't help me. Only your family business can help me. It doesn't matter even if the two companies merge, as long as you are willing. It seems that the situation of Liu's company is extremely bad now. Otherwise, he would not let the high-ranking boss Liu come to me and say such words. That I don't want to take over a company that is rotten to the core. No, I think it's dirty. As soon as these words came out, Liu Yuan's pupils shrank, and obvious anger appeared on her beautiful face. What do you mean? Literally, it's not that the company is dirty, it's that you are too dirty. If I really help him, I will have endless entanglements with him in this life. Instead of that, I might as well make myself bigger and stronger, not to mention that my family's industry is going smoothly. Why should I take over the mess? From that day on, I never saw Yuan again. My career is booming and my life is also stable. Until one day, Yuan's appearance with a belly actually became a hot search, and she didn't even abort the child. Yuan and I met at the event venue. He was looking for former partners everywhere with his belly to build relationships and find funds. Now he has put down his dignity and face, and he can accept it calmly even if he is rejected. But how can he still look like he was in his previous life, making everyone look at his face to do things? My eyes met with Yuan. I turned around and was about to leave, but Yuan and hurriedly caught up with me, unblocked my way. Jiboda, I'm pregnant. It's yours. I narrowed my eyes and looked at her pitiful appearance calmly. In the previous life, he never expected Ruin to be born. The process of giving birth to Ruin was not smooth. He suffered heavy bleeding on the operating table and was almost dead. After giving birth to Ruin, he was left with a root cause that prevented him from having children again. He was originally a man who favored boys over girls. Now, because of the root cause of Ruin, he has never had a good look at Ruin and even hated her. After giving birth, she ignored her daughter and never even breastfed her. It was all me who begged her to squeeze some breast milk for Ruin and take care of her wholeheartedly. Now, I just think she is hypocritical. Shiboda, I know this is your child. For the sake of the child, please forgive me this time. I sneered, and the hatred that surged in my heart could not be suppressed. When I could no longer bear it, I slapped Yuan in the face with my backhand. The crisp sound of the slap attracted the attention of people at the event. Yuan turned his head and stared at me with a sinister and cold look. Anger surged in his eyes, and he lowered his voice and said, Jiboda, am I wrong? The child is yours. What's wrong with you being patient for the sake of the child? Why should I be patient? Yuan, tell me, why should I be patient? I hugged my shoulders. A faint smile appeared on the corners of my lips, and I said calmly, don't think I don't know that the child in your belly is not mine. With your ability as Miss Liu, you can find out whose it is, right? Are you still expecting something? She suppressed her emotions, unclenched her fists. When I passed by him, do I need to remind you that the surname of the child in your belly should be Chen? When I said this, Liu Yuan's face was surprisingly embarrassed, more embarrassed than if I slapped him, but I like to see him like this. The more embarrassed and miserable he is, the more I like to watch it. Since my movie was released in the cinema, it has been completely popular on the internet. My acting skills have been recognized by the public and the whole network has been praising it. Brother G has a really amazing face, a perfect figure, handsome and good acting skills. I love it. Sure enough, people will become super powerful if they don't fall in love. But what about Brother G's previous relationship? Will he remarry Yuan because of the child? I don't know who spread the news, but I would remarry Yuan. and the whole network was discussing things about me. At the film promotion event, I was asked by reporters again, will you remarry Mr. Facing the camera, I said very calmly, I have never thought of remarrying. A few months later, I heard about URUYN's bankruptcy. URUYN's bankruptcy was within my expectations. Once the Liu family's industry leaves the G family's capital chain, it will be difficult to continue to gain a foothold. Stopping losses in time is the best result. But I didn't expect the URUYN to struggle for so long. He was also involved in a lawsuit for economic disputes and owed a large amount of foreign debts that he could not pay off, so he was sued in court. The head office building of Liu's industry has been put on the court for auction. At the same time, I asked my assistant to help me keep an eye on the auction until I successfully took over the building of his head office. As soon as I arrived at the company, I saw URUYN being taken away by the police. Her stomach was flat, and the child should have been aborted by him. You are here to save me, right? I took off my sunglasses and looked at URUYN, who was about to get on the police car. The people around me invited me respectfully, Mr. She. This is the building. I glanced at URUYN and smiled. I am the legal person of the company. From now on, this place will not be Serem Liu. URUYN's expression suddenly changed, and her eyes became extremely complicated, intertwined with hatred. You are rich, but you are unwilling to save me, Jibota. Do you hate me so much? Hate? Of course I hate you. It's a good thing for you to stay in jail for the rest of your life. I wish you would die. If it weren't for the constraints of the law, I would definitely find someone to kill URUYN. URUYN was in prison for an economic dispute case, and I founded my own company. Not only that, I was nominated for the Best Actor. That day, the people in our film crew sat together, and Ito Makoto happened to be next to me. When I won the Golden Horse Award for Best Actor, the jealousy that flashed in his eyes was still captured by me despite his efforts to conceal it. Brother G, congratulations, you are successful in your career now. I smiled and whispered, thank you, where is your child? Ito Makoto's child was aborted. Zhu Yan didn't want to give birth, and the agency was even less likely to let her give birth to the child. Hearing this, the smile on Ito Makoto's face instantly disappeared. I walked to the podium and took the trophy. This is my dream. It was a pity for me before, but now it is complete. I am very glad that I can exist in this world. It is not a dream of life. Existence is beautiful. The only regret is my ruin, but rather than being born by URUYN unsuffering, I would rather he had never come. Until one time I went to the orphanage as a volunteer. I picked up the baby with round eyes at the door. He looked exactly like Ruin in my previous life. I felt that this was a gift from God to me, so after confirming that he was abandoned, I adopted him. My Ruin is that. He is well behaved and cute, exactly the same as in his previous life. Ruin is surprisingly smart. He learned to speak before he was 1 year old. When he shouted Dad for the first time, my heart was beating wildly, and I was extremely surprised and shocked. I couldn't stop my tears from falling. No one could understand the joy of regaining what I had lost. Ruin was pampered by me. She became the darling of the company and my most important family. Some people are happy and some are worried. In the same year when Ruin was adopted, Makoto Ito offended Chen Zhe, a big boss in the entertainment industry. The movie that Makoto Ito and Zhu Yan shot together was invested by Chen Zhe, and the only requirement of Chen Zhe's investment was that Makoto Ito give URUYN to him to play. Originally, few people knew about this, but Makoto Ito, this idiot, threatened Chen Zhe with this every time, so Makoto Ito was removed from the entertainment industry from then on and never attended an event or was active on the screen again. He was forgotten by the Fast Times as if he had never appeared. Spring went and autumn came, and soon it was Ruin's 7th birthday again. I arranged a birthday party for him in the most luxurious 5-star hotel in the city center. At this time, the little boy was standing in front of a 7-layer cake, closing his eyes and blowing out the candles. A smile appeared on his tender little face with a shallow dimple, which was very cute. Dad is not only my dad, but also my mom. He is the person that Ruin Ruin likes the most in the world. Since she could remember, Ruin Ruin never looked for her mom or asked for her mom. I gave him enough love. In his memory, having me was enough. The candlelight reflected on his cute little face, and crystal water splashed. He choked and said, I want to be with Dad forever. My heart was filled with emotion, and I hugged him tightly. Ruin, Ruin, do you want to hear Dad sing for you? Ruin, Ruin kissed my cheek and nodded with a smile. I stood on the banquet stage with a microphone in my hand and presented her with a special birthday gift. I sang 7 children's songs full of innocence. The notes flew in the air, conveying my endless blessings to my daughter, and silently prayed in my heart, I wish my Rue a peaceful and happy life, and a life without worries.